53 religious leaders traveled from Jerusalem just to trap him. Herod's spies sat in the front row, and Yeshua walked in knowing this would be his last sermon. The Capernaum synagogue had never seen a congregation like this. It was a beautiful Sabbath afternoon, and the building was packed with distinguished visitors. Jairus, the synagogue ruler, presided and handed Jesus the scriptures to read. But sitting in the seats of honor were 53 Pharisees and Sadducees who had traveled all the way from Jerusalem. More than 30 leaders from neighboring synagogues had also come. These men were acting under direct orders from the Sanhedrin. They were the official vanguard, sent to begin open warfare on Jesus and his disciples. And next to them sat the spies of Herod Antipas. Herod had heard the disturbing reports of the feeding of the 5,000 crowd had tried to crown Jesus king over in Philip's territory. Now Herod wanted the truth. Jesus looked out at this assembly and understood exactly what he was facing. His enemies were done with subtlety. Open war was about to begin, and so he made a bold choice. Instead of defending himself, he would go on the offensive. He had challenged their ideas of a material Messiah. Now he would attack their whole concept of what the Messiah should be. This sermon marked a turning point, the moment when the tide of popular fame began to recede. From now on, the kingdom would no longer be about winning crowds with wonders. It would be about winning souls for a spiritual brotherhood. This was the crisis, from discussion and debate to open warfare, from acceptance to rejection. Jesus knew what was happening in the hearts around him. Some of his followers were slowly preparing to reject him. Others were quietly passing through the discipline that would strengthen their faith for the trials ahead. He understood that big decisions aren't made in the moment, they're made by the small choices we make every day. The crisis in Jesus' life had begun with the feeding of the 5,000 and would end with this sermon. But the crisis in the apostles' lives was just beginning. It would continue for a whole year, ending only at the cross. As the congregation sat waiting for Jesus to speak, one question burned in every mind. Why did he refuse to be king? For some, that confusion would grow into disappointment, then into opposition, and finally into hatred. It was after this sermon that Judas Iscariot entertained his first conscious thought of deserting, though for now, he pushed it aside. The feeding of the 5,000 had perfectly matched the Jewish expectation of the Messiah, and then he had inexplicably refused to be king. The Jerusalem leaders had pressured Jairus to cancel Jesus speaking, but Jairus stood firm. His only reply, "I gave my word, and I will not break it." And so the stage was set. When have you stood your ground like Jairus, keeping your word, even when powerful people pressured you to back down? Share your story below. Thank you again for walking with me. See you tomorrow. God bless.